everybody. Welcome back to the LTL podcast. It is July 13, 2023. I want to welcome everybody into another edition of the live show. We had a interesting show last night. Not the particular type of content that I like to do here, but this situation affects YouTubers. This situation affects the true crime community, and it needs to be talked about. Now, I'm going to tell you, my friends, this will probably be my last stream on this unless there's some major update, unless there's some major apology. And I haven't seen any apology yet from Zavgirl and the particular person that we're going to talk about this evening. That was another YouTuber that was caught up in this particular scandal, is Natasha Cooper, True Crime with Natasha Cooper. So we're going to talk a little bit about her this evening. And I played a little bit of her on my live last night. And she was actually doing a live stream right as I was doing my live stream. And I pulled that up live because I wanted everybody to hear what she was talking about, what her reaction to the situation was. And I have to say, I'm disappointed. I don't want to say like I think I'm majorly disappointed where this particular individual that got wrapped up in the scandal as well had the opportunity to go on live, to use her platform and to address the situation and say, hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that this happened. I had a lack of judgment. My moral compass was off. But instead, she got on her platform and raved about how she is so right in this, that she didn't do anything wrong. And we're gonna play some of her conversations that she's had on her platform the last couple of days so you all can know. And the thing that's just really crazy about this is that this particular person is gaining subscribers. Who would ever subscribe and who would ever support this is beyond me. Now, my friends, we're not here this evening to bash, bully, defame, dox. This is just to raise awareness. I'm going to put the content out there and I'm going to let the audience decide. I'm going to let you all decide how you feel about this. But, there may be some people that come in and ask, what is going on? What is the situation about? What is happening? So let me bring this up. I mean, if you made the New York Post, it's pretty bad. It's out there. All major news networks have grabbed this story. Now, you're not really seeing much, I believe, at this point about Natasha Cooper, but definitely they are calling Zavgirl to the carpet. So from the New York Post, True Crime YouTube slammed for charging to see autopsy photos of murdered boy 11 years old. And this story was written yesterday. I'm not gonna read the whole thing because I think you have the context of the situation, but I want to read this just in case someone is watching this on replay. And if you're watching this on replay, please make sure to go down there in the comments and give me a hashtag replay. So a true crime YouTuber who goes by Zavgirl is facing backlash for selling autopsy photos of a preteen boy from Colorado on her Patreon account. News Nation senior national correspondent Brian Enton reported Tuesday that Zavgirl obtained the gruesome photos of an 11-year-old Gannon Stauch, who was stabbed and shot by his stepmom, Letitia Stauch, in 2020 by submitting a Freedom of Information Act. Now, my friends, this evening, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get to a few videos that I'd like to play. We're going to hear Natasha's side of the story. We're going to hear a segment from Law and Crime. And yes, I do have the segment from Lawyer You Know. Of course, you knew that I was going to play Peter Tragos because I want to hear his take on this as well. Now, listen, I didn't want to start. I didn't want this show, this particular podcast, or my platform to be about drama. But sometimes you need to raise a little drama to raise a little bit of awareness. I not only want to be a uh, true crime YouTuber, there's other topics that I want to talk about as well. And it will change on the platform as we move along. There will be things that different topics that we will talk about here. So Enton, and I'll go on to read the article here. So Enton said, whoever ran Zav Girl's Patreon account then released the photos on her page, charging her followers $3 to see them. Her Patreon account has been since removed. Natasha Cooper's Patreon account is still active. It's sick and deranged, and you should just own up to it, Enton said on Tuesday. And I had some conversation with Brian on Twitter. If you haven't seen that, you can go over and check out my Twitter account, and you can see that back and forth conversation that we had. And I basically was sticking up for the true crime community. As some other creators have come out, they're now making videos about it. I think there were a few other creators out there that were a little bit ahead of this story. But I felt that I had to come out and speak. Because I certainly would never want photos of my dead 11-year-old boy roaming around the internet. That's the thing that I have to look here. You have to look at your own morality, your own judgment, and ask yourself before you do anything, would you be okay with it if it's your child, your son, your friend, your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, whatever? Would you be able to live with that for the rest of your life before you press send or upload or whatever? Or the live button. I was taught in high school, one of my high school shop teachers, I went to a trade school. I took auto body repair and trade school. And the first day that we walked through the door, before we were able to touch any automobile in that shop, the teacher looked at us and said, treat all these cars that you work on as they are your own. So treat it the same way that you would treat your stuff. Treat people the same way that you would treat your family, your friends, people that you love, people that you care about. That's the story in all of this. And you need to learn the errors of your ways. Now, while people will forget, people will forgive, but they won't ever forget. And, one of these particular YouTubers is yapping their trap, where Zav Girl has gone silent. And I've even looked on her community page today, where she had her statement a couple of days ago. It has now been since erased. I wonder why. I can't find it. That long statement she had. I mean, I screen grabbed it, but it's not there anymore. It's erased. And she's losing subscribers, while this other one that's yapping and everybody is screaming about, oh, free speech. Oh, it's your right. It is. It is your right. That is your right. It was your right to obtain through that Freedom of Information Act, which is a phenomenal thing that we have in this country, because everything should be transparent in our government and our law enforcement agencies, that we have access to that information. But it doesn't give you the right to take that particular sensitive information, especially a little boy that's dead, and put those autopsy photos out there. Now, I've heard that Zav Girl was the one that didn't censor the photos and showed his naked body, but and this is the back and forth with the supporters now. Well, Zav Girl's the bad person because she showed the photos and they weren't covered, but yet Natasha, on the other hand, well, she covered them. She did her best to crop it and show only what she needed to show, and not any particular part of the naked body of this young boy. I mean, either way, it doesn't matter. It's wrong. And I hope this fallout, I really do. I really hope with this fallout that you learn from this, because I don't know where your judgment is, where your moral judgment is, because it clearly was not in this particular situation. And you still have an opportunity. You still have an opportunity to apologize, but you're choosing not to do that. And you're yapping your trap. And that just doesn't sit well in this community. It certainly doesn't sit well with me, and it doesn't sit well with the people that are in this chat this evening. So let's do this. Let's play some of the clips so you can get a feel for this particular person. And I'll let you decide. You all can decide. And I'll say this. I will open my platform. I will open my platform for each one of these particular people, Zav Girl or Natasha Cooper. If they want to use this platform, I will give them the platform to come on and state their case. I will give them the floor. So my hand is out there. If you want to use my platform, we would love to hear why you did this. Or we would love to hear an apology. All right, let's bring up this first video. Get some sound on it.
I don't give a shit if Al, Gannon's dad, has retained legal representation. I don't care who has, because I ain't done shit wrong. Nothing. And good luck with that. There ain't jack diddly shit that any of them can do. Albert didn't know how to keep his penis in his pants and had to have a woman by his side all the time. Every woman that he's ever been with, he has met while he was in a previous relationship. Facts. Those are facts. That's not my opinion. That is a fact. He met Letitia through Landon, playing softball. Landon and Letitia were friends.
Well, there you go. And then this was 2 days ago. So let's play a little bit of this. Now, I don't want anybody defaming. I don't want anybody making fun of her, the way she looks, the way she talks. That's not what we're supposed to do here. We're just calling this to the table. We're bringing awareness to this so people and you all can judge. You all can make your judgment. I don't want anybody going to her page and threatening her or doxing her. It's not what we're here to do. We're just here to hear how she's handling this particular situation, and then we will make our determination about that after.
Well, where do I even begin? So I woke up. Well, actually, I was awakened this morning. Hannah came in to my bedroom and woke me up and said that Gentleman Jack needed me to get up with her. And so, okay, apparently I can't see somebody. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and tell the mods, zero tolerance for stupidity, and just block them. That's where I'm at. So you are more than welcome to be in this chat. I'm streaming to both of my YouTube channels and I'm streaming to Facebook. And anybody is welcome as long as you're respectful. If you're not, you're going to be gone. unlike most creators, I do watch my chat. And I have zero problem modding 3 channels at one time and being live.
This is someone, in my opinion, that is just extreme narcissist behavior that just doesn't get it. You don't get it. You really don't get it.
Everybody's entitled to their opinion, but these are my channels. And your opinion isn't truth. Just because you have an opinion about something doesn't make it the end all be all. Nor does it give you the right to defame, demean, ridicule, or harass someone. Now, as most of you know, I did 2 lives on Patreon about the Gannon Stauch crime scene photos and autopsy information. Because of that, some people who do not like me have started and ran with a narrative that
I'm going to stop this really quick too. So she's already alluding to people that don't like me. That is something that is just deep down inside of you. It's not the fact that people don't like you. It's the fact of the disgusting act that you did. We don't know you as a person. We only know you through videos and through lives. I personally don't know you. You could be the most charitable person in the world. I don't know. But people are disgusted at the act that you did, and you don't understand that. That's why we're calling this particular behavior out, and it needs to be brought to awareness. People need to be aware of this. This can never happen again. Can't happen again. It just can't do it.
absolutely false and ridiculous. And I woke up this morning to MSN.com having an article about a Zav girl and I. Now, I want to read something to you that was sent to me last night by one of my subs. And
I think a lot of it too is why people do this is because they just have nothing to lose. They just have nothing to lose, so they don't care. It's just a complete disconnect with people's feelings. So I don't know, maybe something happened to her in her life where she feels like this particular type of behavior redeems, or, you know, she's getting back. I don't know, I don't know, but I would be curious to find out. Let's play a little bit more of this, and then I'm going to get into the reaction from the major news networks and the lawyer from this morning.
well, maybe if my phone will cooperate.
All right, let's speed this up.
They told me to look at this verse and how it relates to what's going on. Isaiah 54:17. No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue which rises against you in judgment you shall condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness is from me. Now, I'm not going to go into all the details about this article. You can go and find it for yourself and look at it. And if you can't find it, you can come or message me and I'll send you the link. But the article is ultimate bullshit. They didn't vet anything. They did no research. And it's the same
It's everybody else's fault now.
ridiculousness that
now it becomes everybody else's fault. It's not her fault. It's everybody else now that's talking about this. You're the bad ones. I had some bozo today, and I'll bring this video back up in a minute. But I had some bozo today post this on my page, and I don't mind. I mean, it's in the comment section. I left it. But this bozo here saying, you are any better than Zav. You're spreading it more than she is. Let me just bring this down here so I can read it. You're spreading it more than she is. No other YouTuber is talking or sharing this as much as you. Well, the funny thing about it, I've only done one video. I did a live about it last night. And I'm doing a live tonight to call out this person. And I did about 10 minutes on my other show before that. So it's really not a lot of content, but it needs to be done. Seems you are the one that is obsessed. Why do you keep talking about it? The reason the true crime channel gets a bad rap isn't this. It's how many times has this happened? Blaming everything on Zav is BS. I don't now it's the contradiction. I don't approve of what she did, but the FOIA is to blame also, in trying to get anyone kicked off is childish. It's not just people like her that makes the true crime channel look bad. It's people like you also. How many times are you and your guests going to say naked children? Did you see the photos? All other YouTubers gain their opinions and move on, but not you. You're dwelling on it. If there's anyone that hasn't heard about it, you are going to make sure they do. You're damn right I am. You're damn right I am. You're absolutely no better using Gannon's name for clicks. Florida already has a law. FOIA messed up and sent her photographs. Doesn't make it right what she did. JS. Just saying. I love these little abbreviations. Also, making fun of this woman you are talking to on the phone shows how mature both of you are. Well, how about this? Let's just say the photos did go out by mistake. Let's say the court clerk didn't realize that he put them in there. Let's say that they got them. Did they have to still put them out there on the internet for everybody to look at? No. Maybe you would say, oh my God, what is this? I didn't want this stuff, and toss them and rip them up and throw them away. Yeah.
others have ran with. So as I was saying, I have done 2 lives on Patreon.
She loves getting all that Patreon
about
stuff out there, all
Gannon's
that money.
crime scene photos. And I have been accused of showing his nude body. My mods and subs have been accused of making inappropriate comments about his genitals.
Which you probably did.
And we've been accused of defiling his pictures. None of that is true. None of it. And if anybody had contacted me and said, hey, this is what I've been told, is this true? I would have gladly provided them the link.
That's great.
To the lives.
Good job. Great job.
Now, Mommy Rambling
awesome.
blog made a pretty blatant statement.
I really don't know, Bree, and we're not
Just
going to
another
talk
troll.
about that tonight.
I don't need a legal fund.
Because that's
I already
not,
have one.
it's not what we're here to do.
I would never, ever show a naked child, whether living or deceased. Ever.
Yeah, let's not. Tsunami. I want to remove that. Let's not put that stuff out there. That
I
has
have
nothing to do
never
with
been
what's going on.
anything but
I mean, I
respectful
respect you, bro,
of the
but like,
deceased,
let's keep that stuff out of the chat.
and I tolerate zero disrespect or bashing against anyone who is deceased. Those of you who are running with these rumors and flat out lies without doing any fact checking, you're the problem. You are the reason that social media is in the shape that it's in. And entities like MSN and others who run things without vetting them or finding any proof.
You're just going down the wrong boat. Yeah, I mean, you have an opportunity
They're
to
also
apologize.
part of the problem.
You have the opportunity to apologize.
Gannon's parents, both of them, have been contacted and told these same things. My mother has been harassed and asked how she felt about her daughter selling photos of
Played it in the
dead
beginning.
babies.
I played it in the beginning.
This is absolutely nothing but
Sav Australia says, I'd like to see a true crime YouTuber contribute a fund to assist AI and Landon with the cost to fight this. You know what? You get me somewhere where it's a reputable place, I'll put $500 out there right now, and I will prove it with a receipt. I'm going to put $500 out there right now of my own money. If there's a fund that goes up and they need money to fight this, I will give them $500 of my own money. $500. You can hear it on this stream right now. I will write a check for $500 and send it. And if anybody wants to match me, anybody wants to contribute, we can figure something out and we'll get this done. But if there is anywhere out there that is a reputable source that I can send the money to and make sure that it goes to the right people, I'll put $500 of my own money out there. Okay? Figure out a way. If they need money, I will put $500 out there to help fight this for lawyers' fees, whatever they need. I will put $500 of my own money on the line. Let me know.
a smear campaign started by people who don't like me.
They have a GoFundMe.
Particularly
get me the link.
Merb. Yesterday was my youngest's 16th birthday, and I made a Facebook post about us eating lunch for her birthday. And there were several comments, but the one that stood out the most was that
I'm going to play the statement.
They were going to make me go viral for selling a dead baby's pictures.
All right. So we got a little bit of the taste of her there. She came back here about a day later, and this was some content that she was doing as well, talking about how she needs money.
And it said,
look at the
starting
chat.
it off, my funeral fund, because these people are coming in here trying to get me or killing me with their bad jokes. Where y'all at, boo-boos? Crime Junkie, I don't give a shit about watch numbers or any of that mess. I just went live on both just because I could, to say I got a channel back. Boo-boos. Boo-boo the fools. So my fund, my funeral fund, is at, just one moment, is at 61%. 61%. I am $195 away from my goal on that one. $195. Where y'all at? You all have so much to say behind your keyboards and under your little alts. Where are you? I know, not watch. They will. There's no doubt that they'll say that. Where y'all at? Oh, there's no doubt about that, Destination. I actually have the exact amount.
Anybody get me a link yet?
Hold on just a second.
No, not you. I don't think we're going to get anything here, but I just wanted to show where the morals are. All right, here's the last one that she did a little ranting. We're going to play a little bit of that, and then we'll play the reaction from Lauren Crime Network, the Gannon family, and then also the Lawyer No. Do me a favor, when we get pause this here for a second, we're at like 67 likes. We can get this up. We got 150 people in the room. It's free to smash that like button. When we get to 100 likes, it helps push this stream out in the algorithm. I really would appreciate it. So go down there and smash that like button.
And also give zero attention to any trolls, because I know we're going to have them. So just ignore them, because I'm going to. They're going to be blocked immediately by me, just like that one. And then I'm going to keep trucking. So before I get started, I just want to say thank you to those of you who have reached out personally, and whether it's by text, phone, email, Facebook Messenger, whatever be the case. I just want, no, don't time anybody out. I want to say thank you for that, because all of the words of encouragement and the support, I can tell you, I definitely needed over the last 48 hours. For those of you who have channels, who have supported me and put the truth out there about what has actually happened, I just want you to know how much I appreciate you. I'm not going to mention channel names because I don't want you to get, tagged into this bullshit. But I've heard or I've seen, and I know. So thank you for that. I have been doing true crime for right at 5 years now. And I have had a lot of crap happen in that 5 years. Harassment, you name it. 37 CPS calls trying to get my niece taken out of my home that I was adopting. SWATs to my house. You name it, I have had it happen. But I will tell you that nothing.
Okay, I need some help here. Can someone vet this GoFundMe? Because I'll drop $500 in the bucket right now. Is this an actual? I want to. Can someone find me maybe like a mainstream? Maybe one of my mods can find me a mainstream article that has this GoFundMe link in it. Because I want to make sure I trust that you're sending me the right information, but I just want to make sure that this is, before I drop money in someone's bucket, I want to make sure that it's a real, the real person that's doing this. Because there are a lot of, and I don't want to crank on GoFundMe, but there are a lot of, false ones out there. So if anybody can get me a vetted link through like a news website that mentions this GoFundMe on a major news network, New York Post, Long Crime Network, News Nation, something like that. If they're helping, yeah, exactly. Freya, yeah. I don't want to just drop $500 in the hat, and I don't really know if this is really going to it. So, if I can get a vetted link and I'll work on that, I'll do it live and just drop $500 in the bucket. I have no problem. Yeah, I got to verify this. I will do it. I'm a man of my word. I will make it happen, but I need to make sure that it's vetted correctly. You got to at least give me that. All right, let's keep playing through this a little bit. We'll find a link and I'll do a donation. I have no problem doing it.
I guess mentally draining as this has been.
The thing is that like everybody, here's the thing, and I don't want to talk about money and I don't really want to get into like YouTube and stuff like that. But the thing is like, I think people give us a lot of shit and they always say, oh, you guys make so much money. You make all this money. Do you know how much this live will make once it posts? Probably 50 cents. We don't make this exorbitant amount of money that you all think at the low levels. 7,000 subscribers is enough to make through the year to run my StreamYard. And StreamYard is like $650 for the year. So like YouTube's going to take 30% of my money that I make for the month. Then I got to pay taxes on it because it's 1099. And then literally I just take that money and run it into my StreamYard. I don't pocket any money out of this channel at all. I want to make that very clear. Everybody always gets on me in the comments. Oh, you make all this money. You're making this money. I'm making like $1 off each video that I do. Do you know how much time I put into this channel? And that it doesn't matter. None of that matters to me. As long as this channel can go and move and I can get on and create and be with all of you and put good, valuable information out and call wrong people like this to the table, absolutely. That's what matters. But let's keep playing this.
Because when you didn't do something and you are being portrayed as somebody that that you're not, and that that you didn't do the things that you're being accused of, it is very difficult, especially when most people who don't know you just go by what they hear and they don't try to find out the truth of the matter. So if something is said on YouTube or wherever, it must be true. And people don't take the time to find out the truth for themselves. And that has become, I mean, it has just become, it has been so ridiculous this last 2 days. I have been lumped in with another creator, and I didn't do any of the things that I've been accused of. I didn't sell photos of Gannon. I didn't show nude photographs from the autopsies. I didn't do any of.
This is where the disconnect is. Even if you didn't show them that they were nude, the fact is that you showed a child dead. I don't think you understand this. I would love to just look into your eyes right now and say, I don't think you understand what you did wrong. That's what we're upset about. It's not the fact that they were nude. It's not the fact that they weren't. It doesn't matter. You showed a dead little boy. That is the problem, lady. I don't know how hard that is for you to understand.
Of the things that I've been accused of. I'm a true crime discussion channel. And I discuss true crime cases. And I covered Gannon's case because he was found 45 minutes from my house. I know exactly where he was found.
Okay, but
I've been there several times.
It doesn't make it right for you to show this particular type of stuff. I don't understand why this is so hard to understand.
Just bear with me, y'all.
And now she's going to start crying because she's the victim. This is pathetic.
I would never, ever disrespect.
But you have. That's the
a
problem.
Deceased child.
You have.
Or anybody else.
You did.
Who is deceased. And anybody that has ever watched any of my true crime cases knows that.
She's got like 10 videos on her page. It is insane.
I have always maintained that the deceased are not to be spoken ill of. I don't care who they are.
Yeah, I mean, you're great. You're all sending me like a lot of just like GoFundMe's. I got to make sure it's the right one. I mean, I'm happy to donate the money. The money's not going to, I'm happy to do it. I just need to make sure that it's like the right person. Because it's everybody sent me quite a few of them. So, I got Gannon's mom's Facebook page. Maybe I'll reach out to her and make sure that I can get the money properly to her. So I do appreciate you all for doing that. I don't know. Victorine's really good at talking to people. Maybe I can send her the link and she can link up with her and get me a proper way. I can get either a check or something like that, or just a direct link that I can get from the mom herself and donate. So, all right, we're going to play a little bit more of this, and then we're going to go into Law and Crime Network had a segment on this, and then we're going to pull up Lower Your No. Not going to play too much longer any more of this. So let's just listen here for a few more minutes. Yeah, she's a victim now. It's ridiculous.
when I received these pictures,
Victorine, do you want the her Facebook page address? I can get it to you. I would do it live. I have no problem. I'll do it live. I'll show you what her page looks like. I'll drop it in your chat. You can just tell her, look, we're supporting you. There's a podcast that's supporting you and calling out these awful creators that did this. He would like to donate to help with any expenses that they need right now. And if they can get me a proper link vetted through her, I'll drop $500 in their fund, whatever they need. So let me send this to Victorine. I got a screenshot for you coming over. But if you want to work on that for me and see if you can get contact with her, and then when we get like a vetted link through her, I will I'll help her out. Give her $500 if they need it.
I looked at them from a true crime discussion standpoint.
Reba,
and I know that that's not how everybody
sent
views
your email
things,
over to Victorine.
but that's how I do, especially
You're
these
not
cases.
muted.
Because when you are covering true crime cases, you sort of have to take your emotions out of it, or there's no way that you would be able to do it. You just wouldn't, because you wouldn't be able to function with some of the stuff that we see.
All right, I don't want to give her any more time. I'm kind of sick of hearing her, but all right, let's see what Law and Crime Network had to say about this, and then we're going to round up the show with the lawyer and see his reaction as well. No, I think her Patreon is still up, because I was just over there a couple of minutes ago, unless before the stream it got taken down. All right, let's pull this up, lawyer. I'm sorry, Law and Crime Network. Let's do this.
YouTuber charging people in Colorado really mind-boggling. Gannon is really one of those that leaves me shaking my head, and it's truly mind-boggling. Gannon Stauch was brutally murdered in 2020 by his stepmom, Natasha Stauch. She drove his body across the country to Florida and dumped him over a bridge in a suitcase. Now a YouTuber who goes by Zav Girl has done something that, frankly, I can't understand. I'm not sure anyone can really understand it. She posted photos of Gannon's autopsy on Patreon and then charged people $3 a pop to look at the photos. She obtained those photos after requesting the case file. Those photos were included in it. A handful of people so far have requested the case file, including Law and Crime. However, we would never air or post autopsy photos of anyone, much less a child. As you can imagine, Gannon's parents are outraged and devastated, as they should be. For her part, Zav Girl is claiming she did this to do it scientifically, to show people these photos and allow them to see them for themselves.
Hey, Laura, how are you?
Gannon's mom, though, Landon Bullard Hyatt, posted on Facebook, Gannon is my child, and he is not an experiment, nor a piece of paper.
How's your game these days? I've been following you on Twitter. I don't know. I've been tweeting over at you. I hope everything's going well. Thanks for popping by. I know you're a super, super, super busy person.
Or photo.
I wish you luck, though.
He is
I wish
a
you
child.
luck. I'm gonna have
pray
to
that
brush.
all that is
I have to brush up on my game sometime. Maybe you can give me some pointers.
involved in this heinous act
Absolutely.
will stop and no longer do this to
in.
anyone else. I will not give you any satisfaction. No one deserves this, and no one wants to be in these shoes. You may say that if it happened to you, you may not change your actions. I do not wish this on anyone. I'm sure you would rethink your actions if this was indeed your child or you. The good that I take from this is that good people still exist, and in a matter of seconds, Gannon's army came together. I surely hope Gannon taught you all a lesson.
I will.
He
Thank
is
you.
the one who deserves an apology. My son, Gannon.
Joining me to discuss this incredibly disturbing issue is Michael Allen. He is the district attorney of the 4th Judicial District in Colorado, and he prosecuted Natasha Stauch for the murder of Gannon Stauch. Mr. Allen, thanks so much for joining us here on Sidebar.
Thank you for having me. This is an important issue to talk about.
Yeah, most certainly. When did you find out that the autopsy photos of Gannon Stauch had been posted online by this YouTuber, Zav Girl, and then, she was charging people to look at them?
I found out on Saturday afternoon. I was reached out to by one of the family members of Gannon's who let me know about what was happening, sent me a link so I could go and just see sort of what was happening. I wasn't part of the paywall group that could actually access these things, so I couldn't see which pictures specifically. But obviously the family is very concerned about the photos of Gannon being out like this. We took great care during trial to make sure that, one, they knew when we were going to show any autopsy photos.
Hey, Laura, how are you?
We blocked out very sensitive.
I don't know if you heard me, but I said that I've been following you on Twitter, and I've been watching your game. So I want to wish you luck over there. I said I need some pointers from you. You're gonna have to teach me some poker moves sometime.
Portions of those photos, wanting to just focus on the injuries that Gannon sustained. But the photos that were actually being shown on these YouTubers' channels were full-blown photos that didn't have any sort of sensitivity attached to them at all.
Everybody's asking like who I'm talking to. I'm not going to dox her real name, but Laura is a professional poker player, and everybody's probably like, "What the hell? Who is this?" But she's playing in the World Series of Poker right now. So really cool stuff. So I gotta get some private lessons. Have her teach me her game. Give me some pointers on my game.
I know that the person that posted them was also claiming that this was sort of a scientific effort, and I find that to just be preposterous. There's nothing scientific about what they were doing, in my view.
Would something like that, autopsy photos, be typically released through a public records request in Colorado?
Not typically in Colorado. What is typically released in Colorado is the autopsy report itself. I've never seen another case of mine where an autopsy photo like that has been released by the coroner's office and then published somehow through the media or by private groups that want to access those things. So I've never seen something like this before. This particular case.
Reads.
Have you looked into at all how the photos were released? Because we request things here at Law and Crime routinely. We request case files and things of that nature.
4 pounds.
Typically, things like autopsy photos are just kind of, it's unspoken that they're off limits. They aren't published. We would never publish such a thing. And they typically aren't released.
Yeah, the unique part of this case is that it obviously gained a lot of notoriety around the country and even internationally. We had people reaching out to us from all over the world with just well wishes, support for what we were doing, trying to prosecute the defendant in this case. The unique aspects of this case, I think, really drew people in. The fact that it was an 11-year-old boy who looked like anybody else's son. I think we can all identify kids in our own families that could be just like Gannon. And so I think that drew people in. But the horrific nature of what happened to Gannon was very unique. The autopsy photos that we had in the case were things that I didn't want to look at on a regular basis. I didn't certainly want to share those out. I had to really get myself prepared to look at them when I was looking at them, and then being very, very careful about what we presented to the jury too, because these photos are horrific. They're something that nobody wants to see, and the fact that somebody is charging for these things, access to look at them, is beyond the pale to me. The fact that people would want to buy access to these photos is also disgusting. There's no redeeming quality about these photos. There's nothing about them that would be educational in any way as to what happened in the case. There's other ways to do what she's claiming to have done, which was to be scientific about it. In all autopsies, there's always body diagrams that are just black and white body diagrams with injuries that are drawn on, as opposed to the full-blown photos. They could have done those diagrams.
We're going to pause this really quick. We have about 219 people in the room, and I only got about 117 likes. Let's smash that like button. It's free to do that. And when you do that, YouTube will know that this is a very important stream, and it is. This is very important. This is a very important topic. I had a very I did the Zav Girl episode last night. We're calling Natasha Cooper to the carpet tonight as well. But if I can get at least 200 likes, that'll get this stream out and push it out past that algorithm, so more people can come in and see what we're talking about this evening. So it's free to do that. Go down and smash the like button. I really would appreciate it.
They wanted to be scientific about it and achieved the stated goal, which it's just heartbreaking that the family members have to again be victimized by this case.
If science was the goal, talking about science, you wouldn't charge for science. And one of the things that's really concerning to me about this is that not only is the family traumatized and re-victimized by all of this, also you have people out there who, there are some bad people in this world. They have a lot of issues. They have paraphilias. They have things like that. There could be people using these photos for a number of reasons, and then they buy access to them, and then they spread the photos.
Yeah. So, along those lines, any autopsy photos are always going to include very close-up shots of any injuries that were sustained that might have led to death, that kind of thing. But there's also full body shots that will show fully unclothed people, including in this case. And I saw some pretty disgusting comments on, I think it was Twitter maybe, of people that had seen these photos and talking about Gannon's genitalia. That's disgusting to me. And it further highlights, why is this person publishing these types of photos and not blurring those portions out? It's disgusting. I don't know why somebody would do it. And I wish there was something that we could do from our office to combat this. But the problem is that this case spanned jurisdictional lines from state to state. The autopsy was actually performed down in Florida. I'm not necessarily familiar with Florida's open records laws, but apparently that's how these photos were obtained from the coroner's office down there, and then published. It's just heartbreaking
100%.
and disgusting.
I will tell you, we requested the case file and received the autopsy photos as well. We would never post them or use them because we don't do such things. So we were, I think, a little surprised.
So now I'm actually at least I saw some screenshots and I saw the paywall. A lot of people that watch this channel emailed me and showed me the paywall of some people, of the initials and people that bought the photos. I'm glad that Law and Crime Network is actually coming out and saying that they purchased the photos. Well, not purchased the photos, but purchased the case file. So it was, at least they're coming out and saying it, and they're saying that, excuse me, that they, they would never publish those photos, of course, Is there a Cash App? I do have a Cash App. Let me see. I'll just throw my scroll at the bottom. You can check it out.
That we did receive
PayPal as well,
those
too,
autopsy
that
photos in the case file. So
I don't want to make it about that this
to deal
evening,
with these
though.
things. I mean, we receive information all of the time that
really
we
wanna
think
make it
is
about
maybe
that.
too sensitive or too gruesome, and we don't post it. We don't put it out.
Yeah, and I applaud that effort from you all for taking that stance on something like this. There's no redeeming quality about people that want to look at and post these types of pictures. These pictures were absolutely horrific. Like I said, I had to prepare myself each time I had to look at them because you just don't want to see a little boy who was full of life and deserves so much more in life from his stepmother, the murderer in this case. And he certainly deserves so much more dignity and respect in death too. And this is almost just, spitting on his grave in some respects.
This case I found particularly disturbing just because of the evidence we did hear and see. Miss Stauch's testimony, her claims, poor Gannon, before he was murdered, talking about his burns. I mean, we literally are hearing this child in his final hours, and the fact that he was stuffed in a suitcase and taken cross country. And then there was all this rigmarole and back and forth with Al Stauch having to talk to his wife on the phone to try to get her to give him some peace and tell him where Gannon was located, and lies and everything else. I feel like this just compounds the family's grief exponentially.
It absolutely does. You know, one of the things that we learned and was really highlighted during the trial, I hope, was just how manipulative this defendant was. And that's pretty common, that people that are charged with criminal offenses, they're often manipulative. I've been a prosecutor for a long time, and I've never had a defendant that was as manipulative as this defendant. And she was like this in everyday life too. In talking with Al Stauch, her husband at the time, he relayed many stories to us about how she would manipulate every single thing that the family would go through, including her own biological daughter, Harley, who was also in some respects a victim in this case. She had no idea what her mother was up to or how she was potentially going to be implicated in what her mother was doing. And the lengths that this person, this defendant, went through to cause complete hell for these family members is shocking. Like I said, I've never had a defendant that went to these lengths before, despite lots of horrific cases I've prosecuted. This one was above and beyond.
Most certainly. Is there any recourse for this? Because this Zav girl may not have committed a crime per se, but I would assume that if there are photographs posted online of autopsy photos and a child's genitalia, there could be some potential criminal liability here. I mean, some people would call that, you know, producing potentially child pornography.
It could be. I think that would, from a prosecutor's perspective, that might be a tough case to prosecute, that she's providing child pornography to people because of what her stated goals are. Obviously, that's going to be part of any evidence in the case that might be pursued against her. The biggest avenue, I think, and I've encouraged the family to look in.
Hey, I just want to like ask like other creators. I mean, I appreciate y'all being here. I really do. I appreciate y'all being here, but let's like, you know, it's my chat. Let's be respectful to chat. I get it. You have a channel. I know you want to come in and like advertise your stuff, but let's be a little respectful tonight. I mean, this is my crowd over here. You know, if I choose to point you out and you know, I've looked at your channel and I decide that it, you know, in my opinion, it's a great channel that people need to go over and do that. You know, let's I don't want, I've had way too many people do this lately. They come in and just advertise, and then they're on here for, you know, a couple of streams, and then they're out and they're just trying to pull people. I mean, I get it. You want to get people to your channel. You want people to come check you out, but let's just be respectful to my chat. You know, I've seen quite a few creators come in the last couple of streams that, you know, people I've never even seen before, and they keep saying, you know, my live stream, my live show. I get it. We get it. We respect it. But let's just be a little respectful to this, you know, my chat, the thing. And if I call you out and I say, hey, go check these people out, like, give me a chance. I'm going to be honest with you. And I know a lot of people are new here. Okay. But I'm going to be honest with you. I don't watch other true crime channels. The only people I probably do is Titanium Built, because I have a great relationship and a friendship with her. So, you know, it's, I don't watch them because I don't want to cloud my own vision of what I want my channel to be. So I don't want to look at other channels and that sways my decision one way or another. Yeah, some stuff comes up in my homepage. I may pop up on it and check out like, what's this creator doing? What's this creator doing? But I don't want to, I just don't do that. Nor do I have time, because I'm so busy and this is like my therapy at night. But it's cool, man. I appreciate it. It's okay. It's cool. I appreciate it. We want you here. And, you know, if you all want to go over and check out this channel after, please go check that channel out. I'm sorry, I haven't seen your channel, so I can't tell you if it's great content or not, but I'll pull you up. I'll highlight you. It's cool. Go over and check out. I'm sorry. Bite Reloaded. I'm going to say that, is it Betha's Bites Reloaded? Check it out. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people, they come in, they advertise, and then they take off. We got to be respectful to my show. We got to be respectful to the chat, but it's all good. It's all good. So, we'll do that. Brenda's become a new member. We appreciate that. She has upgraded her membership to case contributor. And I know, let me do this. I haven't done this in a little while. Thank you. Appreciate you. All right, let's keep playing the video.
Into this is to try to get a Florida attorney involved in this to see if there's some recourse that they have for the release, and then also potentially to have these pictures pulled from this person so that they can't be published anymore. But as we all know, as soon as something finds its way onto the internet, it's almost impossible to get all of those off of the internet and prevent it from being continually disseminated on the internet. One thing I tell kids all the time in schools is that if something happens on the internet that you're embarrassed about, it's almost impossible to retract that. It's a different world that we live in today.
Tanya.
Well, we will keep a close eye on this.
You ain't hiding nowhere.
I find this to be
To
horrifying.
get 10,000 subscribers,
and I can't
girl,
believe
come
that
on.
anybody would even want to
Get-
look at those
Get
photos.
you and my fucking channel to 10,000
Thank you so
subscribers.
much, Mr. Allen, for coming on to talk with us about
We
this.
work
We
our
hope you'll
asses
come back
off.
sometime.
Absolutely.
Oh, I cut the video too early. Let me just get this. Laura says, great to see you grow, Brian. Have a great night. Let's talk. Yeah. Hey, listen, you need to win a big one, girl. You need to win a big one. And you need to get me some pointers here on my game. Let's hash something out here. We need to play. Yeah, good luck. Good luck over there. I've been watching you on Twitter. It's really good to see you pop. I love that you pop in. She's been OG. She's OG. She goes back like 2 years ago with me when she used to sit on my live streams and like 5 people were watching. It's crazy. But yeah, good luck to you, Laura. Good luck to you. All right, I cut that video a little short. I'm sorry. And we're going to play this. Everybody's favorite long-haired gentleman. Yes, of course. It's the lawyer Peter Tragos. Let's see what he has to say about this, and this should wrap up tonight's stream. Let's play this out.
And I'm recording this late at night, just coming off the News Nation piece that I just did with Brian Enton and some other YouTubers about Gannon Stauch's autopsy photos that have been bought as part of a Freedom of Information Act request and sold behind a paywall by other YouTubers. I've seen some videos come out about this. I've seen the outrage.
So Victorine, I'm just going to let everybody know, Victorine is talking to Landon's, she's speaking to Landon's mom right now. So
rage. I don't like to get into arguments or fights over the internet and things like that, but I felt like I needed to make this video today. I looked into this more to see.
It's not that I don't mind promoting people. It's just that I haven't watched the channel, so I can't say it's like great. And it's just kind of rude sometimes because I've had people in the past just come in, they hang out for a couple of streams. I'm sorry, Gannon's mom. I'm sorry. I'm confused. I'm trying to read. Yes, Gannon's mom. I'm sorry. Thank you for correcting me. My mind gets a little crazy sometimes. It's not that I don't mind promoting people. It's just that you got to be respect. Like, this is my chat. It's my channel. I've had other YouTubers come in. They drop, their name and they're like, come check out my channel. Come check out this, and that. And, then they leave. They're just advertising and taking off. So we got to be respectful. I would never do that and go into anybody else's chat and say, hey, my channel, this and that. It's just about respect. It's respect. We're concentrating on this show tonight. That's what we're doing here. So, all right, let's play the Handsome Gentleman.
How it's possible that something like this could happen, what the repercussions are, how we can stop this from happening again. And so I think it's important for us to just talk about it. I'm going to do a video on it. You can get the information, spread the word about what the law actually is and how it should be followed. Because like anything else, something very good, like a Freedom of Information Act, public documents being able to be accessed by the public. Those are good things. Those are things we need in our country. We want access to the courtroom, cameras, microphones, whatever it may be, so that we can know what's going on in our country, in our state, in our city, in our justice system, and our government, and that is incredibly important. But something good can become evil when people misuse it and abuse it. And we talk about that all the time with media and with access to the courts, and this is no different than that. This is a good thing that someone used for evil. And there are laws in place that should protect against this. And we're going to talk about some of them today. We're going to talk about the potential remedies the Stauch family has legally, because that's what we do on this show. We talk about the legal angles. We talk about the law. We talk about the justice system. And this is a case where this family has been so victimized that
Lindsay,
it just seems
Lindsay
unbearable
always giving the
that
love.
something like this would happen to them.
Always giving.
So when we talk about how something like this can happen, and I heard the prosecutor on Brian Etten's show last night say maybe they need to change the laws in Florida. And if what he was surmising was correct, I agree with him. The only thing is, we already did this in Florida. There is a law specifically in place that makes an exception to the Freedom of Information Act regarding autopsy photos. And it doesn't just stop there. It's almost like this was written for Gannon Stauch's case, because it specifically was the intent of the legislature when writing this law to protect victims and their families, specifically minors who were deceased as a result of domestic violence. So in Florida, it's a very liberal sunshine law where you have access to these public documents. You put in a request, you send a check, you get the documents. But autopsy photos are specifically excluded from that. And they can only be requested and provided under an exception to that rule. And really only to the deceased parents or close family members, with a court order sometimes. So this should not happen. So the question begs, how did it happen? So many times, and I've talked to journalists and reporters and other YouTubers and true crime people that order these documents, that do these requests. And what happens sometimes is when somebody requests the entire file, the custodian of records, instead of pulling out the photos and doing their job to look through it, they send the whole file when they get the check. And sometimes pictures like this end up in a file that's released. And that seems horrible to me, and that doesn't seem okay, and it seems like we should do something about that. Well, the law in Florida, under this rule, which explains the exception, talking about these autopsy photos, actually puts in there that this could be a third-degree felony for that custodian of records, up to 5 years in prison. But in order for that to happen, the violation of this law, turning over these autopsy photos when they shouldn't, has to be willing and knowing. So they basically have to do it on purpose. There's no crime for negligence here. However, negligence is usually meant for the civil courtroom. And I think this is absolutely potentially a negligent infliction of emotional distress. We've gotten to know a lot about that with the Gabby Petito case here in Florida that we've been covering. But this was a major mistake by whoever put these pictures in a file and sent them out to YouTubers. What about the YouTubers? Well, there are some more complicated ways to sue them. Name, image, likeness. We all heard this on, when we were dealing with college athletes getting paid to use their face in video games and put it on pictures. And now we're paying college athletes the NIL deals, name, image, likeness, profiting off of somebody else's name, image, and likeness. We just talked about it in the Corey Richens case where she wrote the book about her deceased husband, that she is being charged with that crime. And sure, they could go that route, potentially collect the profits that were made off of the Patreon and whatever behind a paywall for these pictures. But the simpler way civilly to go after the YouTubers doing this is either an intentional infliction of emotional distress or a negligent infliction of emotional distress. And in order to do that, you have to reasonably believe or know that what you do is going to cause emotional distress. And I've heard some YouTubers say it's in the name of science. We can be detached and look at this stuff. Some people enjoy looking at it and we learn from it. And you know what? That could hit close to home because a lot of what we do on this channel is educational. We learn about the law. We learn about the rules. We learn about the justice system, the court system, lawyers, judges. We answer a lot of questions. So I get it. I get educational purposes. I live my whole life fighting for people in miserably sad situations. I make my money off of other people's tragedies in their life. Every wrongful death case, every fatality as a result of a trucking accident, every car accident that maims someone, and they call me to represent them. Sure, somebody could say you're profiting off of their injuries, you're profiting off of their death. And I would explain it as I'm helping people in the most miserable situation they could ever be in. I hope I'm providing a service that they need and they literally couldn't do it on their own. They need a lawyer to guide them through the process to make sure their rights are protected. So sure, I get it. I get how people can point the finger around and other people can try to explain something the same way in the name of science, looking at these photos. I get it. However, lines must be drawn, and lines have been drawn. The legislature in Florida, when they wrote this law and explained why autopsy photos should not be included in public records requests, is because they know it's a guaranteed fact that these pictures getting out will cause the family members and friends trauma, emotional distress, humiliation, re-victimization, irreparable harm. It is literally in black and white in the legislative intent. We do not have to guess. We do not have to figure it out. We know this is going to cause them harm. It is not helping the victims at all. It is nothing like, guess what? Doctors also profit off of injuries, right? Firemen profit off of fires. Reporters and journalists, they profit off of the stories they tell. It's their job. It's what they do. Hopefully we can see the difference.
See, and this is the point that I was trying to make earlier, and I'm glad that Peter is calling this out and saying this. Like, you know, everybody sits here and they bag on us. Oh, you guys make so much money off all of these dead victims' families and these people that have been murdered and blah, 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 blah. You know, we're doing it to bring truth. That's what you're going to get here on this channel. I don't conspiracy theory. I don't go left. I don't go right. I keep it centered. I keep it as centered as possible. We pull up the legal documents. We read them over as best as we can. We give our interpretation and our opinion of it. And we will talk about scenarios off of those legal documents or what ifs. But I will never say, you know, like the Idaho stuff we've heard about, you know, oh, there's drug dealers and there's tunnels under the ground and people are flying in from airplanes and there's UFOs and there's 90 million cars driving around. Which one's the white car in the neighborhood? Blah, 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 blah. We don't do that. You're just not going to get that on this channel. If you want content like that, there's a million other channels you can go and watch that kind of stuff. But this is as straight as can be podcast, straight up, putting it out there, calling particular people like this to the carpet, putting their bullshit out there and telling them that they're wrong and that they need to learn the errors of their way. And you have such a great opportunity now that the community, now that Twitter, now that mainstream media has called you out to somewhat, maybe in a 1% chance of redeeming yourself, to say, hey, you know what? I thought about this and here's some clarity now. I have some clarity in this. I am sorry. If there's any way that I can pay back the Stauch family and help them, I will. You know, maybe help get a petition together to stop things like this. You know, turn this into something positive now. You know, people, they'll forgive you, but they're not going to forget. And if you're just going to keep on ranting and going on and saying, fuck this, nothing I did wrong, then you're just an evil person. You're an evil person. All right, let's finish out Mr. Handsome.
And that and what these people are doing. And it's almost as if we don't remember the not so distant past when dealing with Kobe Bryant and his family and what they went through when those pictures were sent out, and the millions of dollars of damages a jury found that caused. We know this. This is potentially a per se civil case, which means you violate a law, you are per se negligent or per se liable for what you did. And this came to light back in the day when Bob Saget passed away and they were trying to sell his picture or promote his picture. His family pushed to get this exception, and it happened. It's happened to celebrities in the past. Again, Corey Richards, it's happening right now. There are going to be bad apples and evil people trying to profit off of this stuff.
It's not true.
And it's just like, as the true crime or legal or whatever community we are.
This video will make like 50 cents. I really don't care, though. All I care is being here and being with all of you. It's all that matters. At the end of the day, we have an opportunity to use this platform, call out these carpet beetles to the carpet, and make sure that we do not go over and click on their content. We don't give them a floor.
Right? People who share interests and talk about this stuff and try to learn from it. We must not take part in this, because this is how it all goes away. Just like I said, this is how cameras go away in the courtroom. This is how microphones go away in the courtroom. This is how access goes away when you abuse it, when they give an inch and you take a mile. So I really think we need to be careful of that. And I think it's just really important for us to have these discussions, to understand the process, and hope we can do better in the future. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you think. And if people were asking these questions, because a lot of people were asking for, how is this possible? How is this not illegal? Why doesn't Florida have a law like this? If people have those questions, share this video with them so we can get that question answered, and people can come together and figure out how this happened with the laws in place and what are we going to do about it? That's another question. What are we going to do about it? All right. That's all I've got. Appreciate everybody joining me. I'm out of here. Thanks for.
You know what I like Peter is Peter's a good guy. He lets us pull this up. He lets us pull up his stuff and, use it, because we don't have actual lawyers on our channel. I'm not a lawyer. I'm definitely not a lawyer, but it's nice that he doesn't call us out for saying that. We're allowed to pull up his videos and show them and enjoy them all together, as a group. I think someone was saying, Emily D. Baker was saying something this morning about this as well. And I fully enjoy her. Why don't we do this? I was going to close up the stream, but we have a lot of people in here and I want to keep the stream going for a little bit longer if you all want to hang out. Let's see what she had. Let's see. I don't see anything else. Did she do a video or did she have a live on it? Or was she on another channel talking about it? I know someone was throwing that out there. But let me see what else is out there. See who else was talking about this. Yeah, there's nothing really new that I can find in it. I know Twitter was going bazonkers today. And that hashtag Zavgirl was trending today. Oh, okay, hang on. Brian Enton had a tweet. Let's pull that up. Brian Enton tweeted out Patreon statements below. So this is 3 hours ago. Again, I'm a little bit behind here, guys. Patreon statement below. They have removed Zavgirl's account after she posted autopsy photos of 11-year-old Gannon Stauch. How she got the photos, and the fight to change the laws regarding released children's autopsy photos. When I fill in for Dan Abrams on News Nation at 9. I would love to see that segment. So here's the statement here from Patreon. It says, we have removed Zavgirl from Patreon for violations of our community guidelines for violent and graphic content to create a safe environment for users. Patreons do not allow content glorifying or promoting any violence of any kind. So let's give a round of applause to Patreon. You've done the right thing. Now you need to take down Natasha Cooper. If she hasn't been taken down, we need that to happen as well. These people should not be allowed to make money on this. Her Patreon. She's gaining subscribers too. That's the wild thing about this. I looked at her page today. She's gaining subscribers right now. Let's scroll down and see if we see anything else. So Jennifer Coffindaffer says, concerning Gannon Stauch, for those continuing to post hashtag Gannon's autopsy photos, please hold on to the greater value of worth and is your integrity as opposed to your wallet. A little 11-year-old Gannon was stabbed, shot, and bludgeoned by his stepmother, stuffed into a suitcase, and then thrown into a ravine. How a YouTuber gets their hands on these photos, the Freedom of Information Act, or other avenues is important to issue, certainly needs to be addressed. Little ones should never have their autopsy photos demised for public consumption. And for those who say the trial was public and such photos were shown, that's rubbish. The only thing pixelated in these photos was his face, not the rest of his body. Hashtag Gannon Strong. I know that everybody was going berserk over this. You can see all the replies down here below. And this is kind of the backlash, and it's how everybody's feeling right now, you know. And I just felt that I had to use my platform these last 2 days, call these particular people out. You know, we've heard from Natasha so far. It seems like she doesn't really care about the situation, which is, it's sad. You know, it's just a really sad thing. She had the opportunity to come out and apologize. I'm hoping that Zav girl comes out and issues an apology, you know, after this, you know, after what she's done. And, you know, if you've missed it already, I'm going to play this response from Natasha.
I don't give a shit if Al, Gannon's dad, has retained legal representation. I don't care who has, because I ain't done shit wrong. Nothing. And good luck with that. There ain't jack diddly shit that any of them can do. Albert didn't know how to keep his penis in his pants and had to have a woman by his side all the time. Every woman that he's ever been with, he has met while he was in a previous relationship. Facts. Those are facts. That's not my opinion. That is a fact. He met Letitia through Landon, playing softball. Landon and Letitia were friends. I don't give a shit.
All right, let's pull up Emily here and see what she had to say about the situation. I respect Emily. She has a great channel over there. I'm sure you all have watched it. Okay, let's play this segment here from her show. Another one, Emily's great. She allows creators to kind of come out, play these videos back, and let's do this.
I did not cover it. I find cases involving the horrific murder of children to be horrific. And I didn't cover that trial mostly for that reason. So what has picked up in the news media is something that I was not sure I wanted to comment on. A number of you very kindly tagged me on Twitter when this was starting to go down, and I needed a minute to process rage, to be perfectly honest. And I sometimes fail, but I try not to come at things emotionally first.
I did.
What happened here has elicited an emotional response in me. I imagine it will elicit an emotional response in you. Here's what I'm asking as we cover it, is that we stick to our rules with name calling, with any wishing of harm, et cetera, et cetera. The reason I am touching on this is because it can impact the platform. Because on Tuesday we were talking about
yeah, I gotta say, like, I appreciate everybody being super respectful in the chat this evening. Again, we don't want to, you know, disrespect anybody in that sense. Excuse me. It's just the fact that she's done something wrong. She needs to apologize. We're approaching this in a respectful way. And again, my platform's open. If she wants to come on here and apologize, I will let her do that, or state her case why she did that. I know that she has her own platform, but I'm sure my audience would love to hear either one of these people here, and maybe they have an opportunity to apologize. But I would just definitely think about what you've done. This is going to affect these families, these communities for the rest of their lives. This doesn't go away.
Ethical content creation, because there are so many ethical content creators out there, but these kinds of things change with actions like this. So Brian Enton has covered this. I know that Lawyer has covered this, and I'm going to cover it. And what I'm talking about is a content creator, and it seems like there might be more than one, but content creators who used Freedom of Information Act requests to procure the autopsy photos of the 11-year-old murder victim and then provide those to their audience. And I can only imagine that the content creators that were doing this have never attended an autopsy, particularly the autopsy of a child. This is why I didn't want to talk about this. Have not been with families who have lost anyone in this way, and don't fully appreciate the devastation and damage that this can happen. When I first saw this story, I was tremendously confused as to how the photos would have even been released. Because under the rules, and Lawyer breaks this down really well. I'll link his video in the description.
Yeah, that's called yapping your
Peter
trap.
breaks it down really well about what the rules are in Florida. The autopsy photos particularly should have never been released. Autopsy reports, maybe, but the photos never should have been released. And the ethics of being a creator is when something is released to you by accident, which seems here, this is a tremendous error and a potentially career-ending error for whoever the custodian of records is to release these that should have never been released.
So Zavgirl just posted a public apology. Is it on her community page? On her YouTube channel? Let's check. Where did she post it? Get me the link. We'll pull it up. Is it a video? Are we trolling? I don't see anything. Get me a link, post it in the chat. I'll bring it up. Video public apology. I don't see it on her page. Is it on Twitter or where is it? Get me a link because I don't see anything. It's a video. Can you get me a link? Because I'm on her channel. I'm on her channel. I don't see it at all. Oh, I got it. I see it. All right, let's pull it up. Good catch. Thanks, guys and ladies. All right, let's pull this up and see what Zavgirl has to say.
Hi, everyone. If you're listening to this, then you likely know about the last few days. I want to apologize to everyone I've hurt, but especially Gannon's family. I've been doing some major soul searching and reflecting. There are many trying to define my motivations, and while I'm not looking for forgiveness or trying to make excuses, I do hope to provide additional context that has not been made clear.
A lot of video cuts.
I have followed the Letitia Stauch case closely, and it was actually during the trial that I made the official records request. And it was in El Paso County, Colorado. I requested all the video, audio, and written records. I made no request for autopsy photos. I wanted all trial records, but my main interests were interviews with Letitia. The autopsy photos just happened to be in the files. I spent time reviewing what I received so I could provide more info from the trial. I believe many of my images were already shown during the televised trial, and I saw the photos on other public YouTube.
There's a lot of cuts in this video too. I just listen. I'm gonna give my commentary after. I'm sorry. Let's get through this video. I know people get pissed when I pause, but I get thoughts in my head, so I will comment after.
Channels that live streamed the trial and shared the evidence. I didn't think any of the images were new. These photos were already public, although the video I put together with the coroner's voice was my own creation. I chose to put the video on Patreon because of the sensitive nature of the evidence. Putting the evidence behind a paywall meant added security, and I naively thought they wouldn't be made public. The video I created with a voice from the coroner wasn't meant to be shared outside of Patreon, and I chose not to put the photos on YouTube, a public forum, where the views would have allowed me to make more money and the photos would be seen by more people. Because the video was placed behind a paywall, rumors about the images not being blurred or being different than what was shown in trial started to surface. No photos shows genitalia. I have made no jokes about the photos. I don't even cuss on my channel, and I would never allow derogatory remarks about a victim. I realized my intentions were not communicated well. My channel style is sort of me hanging out with friends and speaking off the cuff, and I did not articulate my reasons or think my decision through. At this time, my Patreon website has been shut down. I am not sharing any of the photos or video anywhere, although you can see the photos published on other popular channels. Nothing you see is from me, nor will ever be. To those who have supported me and followed my channel, and to the true crime community, I'm sorry I let you down. I cannot imagine the pain Gannon's family has gone through. My anger over what happened to Gannon is the reason I started following the case. I'm not this evil, heartless person like many are saying, but I'm also doing a lot of self-reflecting, and I'm looking into sensitivity training. I did not want to add to the family's loss with anything I said or shared about this case. And it will be a long time before I ever trust myself or my decisions again. To Gannon's family, I have no words that can make this better. No one should have to ever go through what you guys have been through. I'm so very sorry for any pain that I have caused you.
Reaction. Go ahead, type away. What do you think? I'll let you type for a second. I got to type a quick email. All right. Sorry, I had to reply to something really quick. I know that's really rude. Okay. Yeah. Yep. Let's do this. Let's do this. I want to play it again. We'll just play it again. We'll give the benefit of the doubt. Let's watch it again. All right. Let's play it again. Give me a second. I'm going to pull it up. All right. Let's play it again. Just so if anybody's just coming in the room, this is Zav Girl's response to everything that has happened over the last couple of days. I'll let you all decide. All right, let's play.
Hi, everyone. If you're listening to this, then you likely know about the last few days. I want to apologize to everyone I've hurt, but especially Gannon's family. I've been doing some major soul searching and reflecting. There are many trying to define my motivations. And while I'm not looking for forgiveness or trying to make excuses, I do hope to provide additional context that has not been made clear. I have followed the Natasha Stauch case closely, and it was actually during the trial that I made the official records request.
Yeah.
And it was in El Paso County, Colorado. I requested all the video, audio, and written records. I made no request for autopsy photos. I wanted all trial records, but my main interests were interviews with Natasha. The autopsy photos just happened to be in the files. I spent time reviewing what I received so I could provide more info from the trial. I believe many of my images were already shown during the televised trial, and I saw the photos on other public YouTube channels that live streamed the trial and shared the evidence. I didn't think any of the images were new. These photos were already public, although the video I put together with the coroner's voice was my own creation. I chose to put the video on Patreon because of the sensitive nature of the evidence. Putting the evidence behind a paywall meant added security, and I naively thought they wouldn't be made public. The video I created with a voice from the coroner wasn't meant to be shared outside of Patreon, and I chose not to put the photos on YouTube, a public forum, where the views would have allowed me to make more money, and the photos would be seen by more people. Because the video was placed behind a paywall, rumors about the images not being blurred or being different than what was shown in trial started to surface. No photos shows genitalia. I have made no jokes about the photos. I don't even cuss on my channel, and I would never allow derogatory remarks about a victim. I realized my intentions were not communicated well. My channel style is sort of me hanging out with friends and speaking off the cuff, and I did not articulate my reasons or think my decision through. At this time, my Patreon website has been shut down. I am not sharing any of the photos or video anywhere, although you can see the photos published on other popular channels. Nothing you see is from me, nor will ever be. To those who have supported me and followed my channel, and to the true crime community, I'm sorry I let you down. I cannot imagine the pain Gannon's family has gone through. My anger over what happened to Gannon is the reason I started following the case. I'm not this evil, heartless person like many are saying, but I'm also doing a lot of self-reflecting, and I'm looking into sensitivity training. I did not want to add to the family's loss with anything I said or shared about this case. And it will be a long time before I ever trust myself or my decisions again. To Gannon's family, I have no words that can make this better. No one should have to ever go through what you guys have been through. I'm so very sorry for any pain that I have caused you.
Right. So here's the way that I would have handled it. I would have just came on live and went right from my heart, right from my chest. If it, in my opinion, if I was caught in that type of situation, I would just come live, no jump cuts, no video recorded. I would just come live and say, hey, I screwed up. I'm sorry. You know, if there's something that I can do, not cut it together, not jump cut, not, it seems like she's reading from a script. Again, I'm just assuming, but that's the response. That's the response we have. So I know that, I know that you all will be talking. I'm actually gonna tweet at Brian Enton right now, speaking on. Hang on a second. Excuse me. So I'm going to tweet at Brian Enton, and maybe he can raise some awareness as well. So I'm putting at Brian Enton. Hang on one second. I'll show you what I got in the works here. So I just put up a tweet. I'm going to put this out. Brian Enton at Brian Enton. Patreon has canceled Zav Girl, but we still have work to do. True Crime with Natasha Cooper is just as responsible and should have her Patreon canceled as well. So I just tweeted that out to Brian. Maybe we'll get some traction and people will look into that as well and get that Patreon taken down. So my friends, we are coming up on the 2-hour mark. I appreciate everybody this evening for doing these last 2 episodes with us. I think, for now, we have the apology statement from Zav Girl. I'm hoping that Natasha sees her ways of her ilk in this situation and starts to really come around, excuse me, and issues apology. Checks, both of them can check their moral compass now. I wanted to do 2 live streams on this, one on Zav Girl, one on Natasha Cooper, because they were one and the same of what they did. It's not the way that you put these photos out there. It's not the way that you exposed this gruesome incident. It's the fact that you did it, and this community will not put up with it. We don't want people like you in this community, and it's too bad. I mean, I've never watched Zav Girl's content, but it seemed like she was doing very well. She had 90,000 subscribers. She will probably never recover from this, and she shouldn't, because she has affected this family's life all over again. They have to live through the scars that are now reopened, the wounds that are now reopened, and you'll never heal. It's like reliving this situation all over again, because once that stuff's out there on the internet, it's there forever. It's there forever. So I want to thank everybody for coming in this evening. Everybody that has sent donations over, I'm going to calculate the total. And like I said, if someone can get me a vetted link, and I know Victorine's going to work on this for me, I have no problem in any way, if that family needs money, to donate $500 to them. I will do it. I'll show you a receipt. I have no problem doing it. So whatever they need, if they want $500 from me, if Gannon's family needs that, I have no problem doing it. Just let me know. We'll do it the proper way. We'll get it vetted. Even if I have to write a check to them, I don't mind doing it. But we'll help. And even if we can put this money towards a charity or something, we'll figure something out. I want to thank everybody for hanging out this evening, all the new members that have come in, all the new subscribers that came over and checked out this video. Before you all run away, I know everybody tries to run out of the room. Don't run away yet. Don't run away yet. Let's see. Tomorrow night, I'm going to drop the link for tomorrow night's show. Tomorrow night, we're going to discuss the new evidence in the JonBenet Ramsey case. I know Titanium Belt did one a little bit earlier on this today. If you haven't go over, check out her channel. She did some content on that today. I was just aware when I woke up about 8 o'clock this morning, there's been some new evidence in that. So I'll be doing that show tomorrow night. And then I do want to start the Grant Amato trial. I know that I have been talking about it as well. We're going to get into that trial. And then also on Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to do another Idaho show. We have a lot of new documents to go through. I think Laura's going to join me for that one. And we have some new things to go through. I don't want to spoil the show too much. So tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Laura will be joining me on the panel for the JonBenet Ramsey stream. And then she's going to come back on Saturday as well and do a panel with me on Saturday, Brian Koberger, Idaho 4. And then I may take Sunday night off. I think I've streamed every single night this week, and I literally have not been sleeping. So I want to thank everybody this evening for coming in, bringing awareness to this channel, bringing awareness to the particular situations that are going on around the true crime community, that this type of activity needs to stop. I hope this is a lesson learned for other true crimers, that when you are creating material and you're putting things out there, that you're thinking of these families first. And before you hit that send button, before you hit that upload button, before you hit that tweet, before you share that text, before you share that email, remember, a digital footprint is forever and people will find it. We see this information now brought up a lot in cases. This is forever. It will never go away. So please be kind, be courteous in what you do. Treat these victims and these families, these communities with respect. That's all I have to say this evening. Everybody, have a great night. Be great people. Be kind to each other. Do the right thing. You know, we're all here. We're all humans. We're all in this together. We need to do the right thing. Think of those families. Think of those victims, because I'm sure that most of you, all of you in this chat room, have been through some type of trauma. I've been through a murder case. I just dropped a photo, but my best friend was murdered in 1994. You can find the episode if you want to hear of his story. If you want to hear of Tony's story, it's on there. You can listen to it. I actually pulled up old newspapers because I kept everything. I scanned everything in, and we walked through the complete case. My friend did not get justice. The two people that murdered him walked. I say this again. I believe in our justice system. I believe in our police. Do we have some work to do in these particular systems? Yes. But I strongly believe in justice. I strongly believe in our court system. It just didn't happen in this case. So I'm going to leave that with you all tonight. I appreciate everybody for hanging out this evening. Thanks for smashing that like button, because that is the most important thing, to smash that like button to get this stream out beyond the algorithm so more people can see it. You all be good. Get some sleep. I'll be back tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go over and subscribe to Titanium Built if you haven't already. Damn it. Let's get her to 10,000 subscribers, and then let's get this fucking channel to 10,000 subscribers. I know we can do it. I love all of you. If you need to contact me, send me an email, letstalklivepodcast@gmail.com, or you can check me out on Twitter. I'll drop the Twitter because I always forget the handle real quick. There's my Twitter. Thank you so much. Come over, check out the show, because you guys are missing great content on these non-Idaho shows. I'm telling you, the best things happen on these smaller streams. Come back tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be here. I love all of you. Peace.